this is Jessica with Dining Traveler, and welcome to the Dining Traveler cooking series where we try recipes from our favorite destinations at home. And this time I am at a borrowed kitchen. It's from 10K Hill South, this gorgeous apartment building in Washington, D.C., close to the National Stadium. I'm living the dream right now. And for this episode, I am going to make one of my favorite recipes to make at home is Arroz Con Pollo, Puerto Rican style, of course. And it is also one of the favorite recipes of my family, especially my daughter, who's always asking for Puerto Rican rice. So let's get started. The first step is to prep the chicken. I've already cut the chicken in strips. I personally love chicken thighs. I feel like they have a lot of flavor. I do use them boneless, especially because I'm feeding my little one. My mom loves doing it bone-in. It's up to you. Actually, the bone-in has a really good flavor, but I'm feeding a kid here. But you can get as creative as you want. I've seen drumsticks, you do what you gotta do with your chicken, but I use around 2 to 2.5 pounds because I'm using 4 cups of rice. Now we're getting ready to season the chicken, adobarlo. I love that word, adobar, seasoning in Spanish. And we are gonna use adobo, and my adobo doesn't have pepper, so I'm gonna add a little bit of black pepper and salt before I put it in the pan. So we heat up the oil around 2 to 3 tablespoons, not too much because you don't want your rice to get too oily, plus also the chicken has some fat in it. And we are gonna go ahead and cook the meat. We've been cooking the chicken in medium-low heat for like around 5 minutes. You want the chicken to brown just a little bit to release some of that fat. Make sure you're stirring so it doesn't get stuck. And now we're gonna add the sofrito and all the other flavors to kind of make that guiso, to make that nice flavorful meat before we add the rice. We added sofrito, olives, and tomato sauce and the rest of the seasonings. And I also added a chicken broth cube, and this is up to you. I sometimes don't like to use it just because I find it a bit too salty for my taste. I have high blood pressure, so I try to cook with less salt. My mom uses it, so I just, for the benefit of the recipe, I added it, but to be honest, I don't miss it when it's not there. We added 4 cups of water, and we're just gonna let it cook, again, medium to low heat for around 10 minutes. We have around 4 cups of rice, and we're gonna wash it in a sieve so we can add it to the chicken. Now we've added the rice, and we are going to let it cook uncovered for 10 minutes in medium to low heat, or until the rice absorbs the water. So it's been around 10 minutes and the rice has absorbed all the water. We're gonna give it a good stir and cover it, and then we're gonna let it cook between 15 to 20 minutes. I like to give my first check around the 15-minute mark. So at a little taste, the rice is done. And just so you can loosen it up just a little bit more, what I like to do is now reduce the heat all the way to low, cover it again, and just give it a few minutes, like 4 to 5 minutes. And at this point, when you check the rice and it's a little bit dry, sometimes it happens to me, just add like half a cup of water and just let it steam at low heat, and that should get your rice nice and soft. And this is how we make Arroz Con Pollo at Casa Dining Traveler. A big thank you to 10K Hill South for letting me borrow their beautiful kitchen. And this is how I serve my Arroz Con Pollo. A little habichuelas guisadas, some stewed red beans, plátanos, you can do maduros, you can do crunchies, whatever. And buen provecho. If you have any feedback, questions, please leave them in the comments. And most importantly, don't forget to like and subscribe. Adios, bye.